Hello, everybody. My name is Gary Yao, and today I have a very good friend and special guest of mine. His name is Elmer Delgado. He
Hello,
works
Gary.
in, hello, he works in the east south area of LA, correct?
Correct.
Got it. So let me ask you this, Elmer. This has been very interesting. As you know, interest rate has been what, a 6.5, almost 7.
Correct.
What causes interest rates to go up and down?
Well, the mortgage interest rates, it's one of the, I would say, the factors that the Federal Reserve uses to slow down inflation, right?
Mm-hmm.
When when the demand is stronger than the supply, right? Right now, like everybody knows, whenever you see a home, it gets multiple offers. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So what happens is this, the Federal Reserve job is to slow it down so that it doesn't get out of control, because the higher it goes, it has to go to a point where it's mathematically impossible. People can't afford to buy homes. So they gradually slow it down to keep that from happening. So the Federal Reserve is one thing that causes interest rates to go up, right?
Mm-hmm.
The chairman of the Federal Reserve has the lever. He
Mm-hmm.
pushes it up or down. He has that power, that control. And but also the economy is a living, breathing mechanism,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Uh, so then, for example, we just came out of COVID, and one of the things that the government did was, put a lot of money into the economy. So what that caused, part of the inflation, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have, but money loses value. So whenever you go to the market, whenever you pay for goods, you pay more money. So then the only way is for that to slow down. That causes interest rates to go up, because money
Mm-hmm.
loses its buying power. An interest rate is what you pay for the use of others' money.
Okay. So the interest is what I pay to use others' money. So I pay that with more money then.
Correct.
That's causing
That's what
inflation.
those are. There's other factors, but those are the biggest ones, right? Inflation goes up, money loses value. So then the what you pay to use others' money goes up.
I see. Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. So that affects us in a way that okay, so the Federal Reserve wants to make sure that we are not causing everything to go up high in value. So it increases the what, the
Interest
interest.
rate
Hmm.
to slow it down.
Okay. From one understanding is that yes, they make sure that we don't that things don't go overboard and get over expensive. That one thing, that one place that comes to mind is Venezuela. I heard that
Okay.
the inflation is like a million. Like
Hmm.
$1 is equivalent to I don't know how many thousands or hundreds of thousands of bolivares.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
and I remember like World War II, at the end of the World War II, Germans, they had to pay all the, well, because of the losing party, they had to pay for losing the war, and inflation was rampant as well. And at the same time, they had deflation. So, no, I guess based on history, you can see how that could be something that we don't want that to happen to us. Mm,
Hmm.
okay.
Interesting, like you say, right? It was a catastrophic event.
Yes.
After World War II, the Germans lose the war, so their money was worthless.
Yeah.
It didn't mean anything. So then, that's what the Federal Reserve does.
Hmm.
We don't want to have a catastrophic event where people, or the people of the country, lose all their buying power. So that we have, then this is what happens. We have a very rich, very wealthy billionaires, and very poor,
Hmm.
because the rich have the money. And remember, inflation causes the rent of money to go up. That's the interest. The rent is the interest that you pay on the
You're
money.
paying rent on that money.
Correct,
Yes.
correct. And the businesses use money to operate, right?
Hmm.
So then, if the price that you pay for the rent of the money that you need to buy machinery, equipment, supplies, and pay the workers goes up, then you eventually goes bankrupt.
Yeah.
Everything
Actually,
goes bankrupt.
Elmer, let me
Mhm.
stop you there because did you say that we didn't have a catastrophic
Catastrophic.
event? I will
Mm-hmm.
say we did at a global extent. Now we're saying like, hey, well,
Mm-hmm.
just COVID. No, wasn't a big deal. But at that moment, uh, everybody thought it was the end of the world. Like, oh my God, this is a global
Yes.
event never seen before. So you could, in essence, the measures that we took was for a catastrophic event. It was for something
Mm-hmm.
that was unseen, never experienced before.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, we did what we did. We print out so much money. We were at home and we just making sure that we survive this apocalyptic type situation. That
Mm-hmm.
now
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
looking back,
Correct.
like, wow, okay, it was a cold, or I don't know. Like
Mm-hmm.
looking back, maybe it was out of proportion, maybe not, but we
Mm-hmm.
did what we did to make sure that people were okay. Mm,
Right.
yeah.
And that was a one of the triggers that caused what's happening now.
Hmm.
That's why interest rate before the COVID, you probably remember that we're in the middle twos and threes, right?
Yeah.
And it was good, right? And fours, and
Hmm.
now we're closer to seven. And it's worth to point out that since we've been tracking interest rate, I think we started tracking it in the 1930s.
Hmm.
The
Almost 100
average
years.
interest rate, yeah, average interest rate that we have paid on mortgages is, I think, is closer to 9%.
Okay, so
So we're
okay,
still good.
in perspective, we're still okay then.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And that's why we have the systems in place. I mean, the economy is not perfect. The US
Mhm.
economy is not perfect, but it does the very best that it can to stay afloat.
Yeah. However, to play to devil's advocate, you can say
Hmm.
like, yeah, the average interest was 9%. Maybe
Hmm.
was it in the 70s, or at what point was it at 16%?
It was when we had the petroleum shortage, late, it was the mid 70s,
Yeah, so
mid
so the
70s.
16%, right? Okay, good.
Yeah. Hmm.
What was the average price of a home here in your area in LA?
In my area in the 1970s, it was, I'm going to give you a wild guess.
That's
It
fine.
was, I would say in the 50,000, $60,000 range.
Okay. And what was the
Hmm.
average salary of a worker,
Oh my goodness, I don't know, but it's easy to find out, right?
right?
But I would say maybe $1 an hour in the
Okay.
1970s. That was
Hmm.
the minimum wage compared to now,
Okay.
$20.
So
Hmm.
I remember you once told me that there was like a mill or a wood, what's it called? Like a wood area, well, a
Hmm.
factory,
Hmm.
and where all the workers that work in this woodmanship type
Hmm.
lumber place, they will
Hmm.
take this wood and build houses. Was it in South Central?
It was Huntington Park, Walnut
Huntington
Park.
Park. Okay, good.
Yeah, the
So,
train used to bring wood,
mhm,
right, and lumber
okay.
to the hardware stores.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was in the city of Walnut Park, Huntington Park. It was a
Okay.
big um lumber area.
Here's where I'm going with this is that yes,
Hmm.
even though at that time maybe the 70 was 16%, the average salary could actually pay you like I heard that. Oh, well, I might be wrong, but you said that I heard that your yearly salary was your home was 3 to maybe 4 times your yearly salary. That's back then.
Hmm.
So you have
Hmm.
to pay 16% of your yearly salary so times four. That's affordable. But now,
Hmm.
like, how many times is your yearly salary to buy a house?
Gosh,
Five,
if the
six,
average
seven.
price range is, yeah, if the average price is 750,000,
Okay.
so you figure it, right? You figure it what that would be, but it's more. It's more
Yes.
than it was back then. The
Yeah.
dollar, your currency
Hmm.
has a lower buying power than
Hmm.
it did.
Yes.
I'll give you an example that I remember. I graduated from high school in 1985. A Snicker bars
Hmm.
will cost you 25 cents. A
Hmm.
bag of chips will cost you 15 cents.
Hmm.
Now, I haven't bought a Snicker bars in, I don't know, maybe 20 years. When was the last time you bought a Snicker bars, Gary?
Oh,
I think
I,
it's I, I think it's $2.
oh, maybe,
So
maybe.
it's gone up 8 times
Hmm.
for the
Okay.
same Snicker bars.
Actually, no, I think the size is smaller too.
Yeah, yeah, the
They
size is
this
smaller,
is
right?
smaller and
Yeah.
more
So
expensive.
then what that tells you is that the purchasing power of currency has diminished.
Yeah, and that's the differential inflation. However, I will say this though, it's not going to stop. Inflation is going to keep going up, and the
Oh,
price of assets of properties it's going to
Mhm.
continue up. I have seen that the average increase in value in LA, Southern California is actually 5%. So imagine it's going
Mm.
to compound 5% every year. And during the
Mhm.
pandemic, actually, from the start to finish, from 2020 to 2023, properties in Southern California went up 45%.
I just heard this, I think maybe a month and a half ago, that if you bought a home in March of 2020 after the pandemic and you sold it in on January 31st of 2024, you made 46% of your money.
That's
What
about
that
right.
means is this: if you bought a home for 500,000 March of 2020 and you sold it on January 31st of 2024,
Hmm.
you made $250,000.
Not bad for holding a few
Oh no,
years.
not at all. Not at
But,
all. Not at all. That's
but check
excellent.
this. Imagine
Hmm.
you were to hold this for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
here's our time is up, but here's my
Cool.
takeaway from this conversation with you is that don't wait to buy assets. You have a way to
Hmm.
purchase it because properties are not going to go down. That's the
No,
and with the
just
way.
like Snicker bars, right? Buy Snicker bars.
Mhm.
They don't go down, they go up, but they don't last as long as a home does. Those are
Got
real
it.
estate does.
Yeah. So
Cool.
Elmer, if people want to reach out to
Mm-hmm.
you, how can they reach out to you?
323-707-6594. That's the
Mhm.
best number. Instagram is Elmer7978.
Got it. And your email?
Elmer at southeastrealty.net.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I will talk to you next time.
Thank you, Gary. Nice chatting.